Mr. Eustis has
Thank you, Bob. I want every dollar that all of you hardworking taxpayers in this community pay to send to Beacon Hill possible to come back into this community. I want to keep your money here. Our forefathers had the great wisdom to understand that local government is the best government for a number of reasons. It understands the local needs better. It can meet those local needs more efficiently. And here's always been my favorite part. It makes those local government leaders more accountable. The ones that make those decisions. They're your neighbors. They're the ones that you see on the soccer fields or in the coffee shops. I want that money to come back to the community and to be managed locally. And I will fight to get every dollar back to this community because it's your money. Here's what's been happening under the Democratic-controlled State House. We've sent more and more money to Boston as our taxes have been raised and less of it's coming back. That's a fact. In 2009, our state legislature had $5 billion in local aid going back to the communities. 2 years later, it was $4.3 billion. Where did the money go? Almost $750 million that we sent to Beacon Hill stopped coming back into the community. So the Democratic Party has raised our taxes and it's sent less money back locally. The bureaucratic cut comes out of it in Boston, and what's left trickles back into the community. And all of our services and all of our communities suffer. As you folks know, and as Jeff knows, having been a town official in Franklin, every town is running on a shoestring budget right now. And when local aid gets cut, services end up getting cut. We end up feeling it here because the money's being wasted in Boston. We're paying more, we're getting less, and services are getting cut. This is unacceptable, it's got to stop, and it is not the right direction in this state. Where is the money going? Waste, fraud, and abuse. I see my time being held up. I could talk to you about this topic just for the next 2 hours. Let's give some examples. EBT card fraud estimates, which my brother at one of his Democratic debates had problems with some of the legislation and the reforms that were being sought. Common sense reform measures, such as EBT cards, which are designed for basic services and basic needs, shouldn't be used on Alaskan cruises or in tattoo parlors or other establishments that I'm not going to mention in this company. Last year, just last year, 2,000 new $100,000 or more state jobs were created by the Democratic legislature and our Democratic governor. That's $200 million worth of payroll in state employees. 2,000 new jobs at $100,000 a year or more. Waste, fraud, and abuse. We've got a probation scandal on Beacon Hill right now, where patronage jobs are giving out as political favors, and indictments are sure to follow those as well. Money is being wasted. You don't have to be an economics major, which I was undergrad, to understand this. If you're sending more money to Beacon Hill and getting less back, then the party that's in control of that money isn't doing it right. And I will fight for local aid. Contrary to what Jeff said earlier, implied that if I'm calling out the indictments or pointing out what they're doing wrong, somehow we're going to get punished by not getting the money back. It's nonsense. I'm going to fight for every taxpayer here, every struggling business in this community to get your money back in the community because it's your money. And what they're doing in Beacon Hill right now is not working. Thank you.
Before going on to local funding, I want to jump back to the economic development. And first of all, I want to begin by saying, hey, Rick, I'm a fan of Massachusetts. I like living here, and I'm committed to staying here, and I'm committed to making it better. I hope you are too. Your next state representative has to remain focused on the initiatives and implementing them to make these things happen. And I want to go to that survey that Rich has cited about the CEOs and their comment that Massachusetts is 47. There are a number of studies out there, and I can assure you that Massachusetts rises in many of them. But in that study, it's interesting that the states with the best rankings under that study have the lowest per capita incomes, the highest poverty rates, and in the case of Texas, one of the highest percentages of people with no health insurance. And by and large, they have a history of lax environmental regulation, contributing to the fact that residents of those highly ranked states also tend to have shorter lifespans. Meanwhile, look at where the CEOs choose to live. They live in states that have low rankings: California, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts. So the bottom line, Rich, make your state a place where CEOs like to put their business, and you can expect a poor quality of life and low paychecks. Make your state a place where CEOs like to live, and you're going to get better quality of life, higher paychecks, and a longer life. A local aid is very important, and the voters in Massachusetts support the services that are provided in their local communities, and I want those services to be adequately funded. These services are essential to quality of life, and they're also essential to strengthening our state's economy. What do you look for when you're looking for a community to live in? Good public schools, parks and green space, clean air and water, well-maintained streets and sidewalks, public transportation, a senior center. We're not funding Republican or Democratic facilities, Republican roads or Democratic roads. We're funding communities for everyone. And I'm going to work in a bipartisan approach to fund them for everyone. I'm certainly opposed to fraud and waste. And if somebody does something illegal or does something wrong, I believe they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And I will see to it that the laws are strengthened so that happens. I don't want any fraud and abuse in this government as you do. Rich, I wasn't saying that by you calling out indicted speakers is going to get us into trouble. What I was saying, by indicting Beacon Hill, you're in effect indicting one of the longest-serving and well-intentioned legislators in Jim Valley by calling out and suggesting that he's somehow corrupt or somehow done something inappropriate. If you really believe that, the folks on Beacon Hill were doing things wrong, why didn't you ever do anything to have them voted out of office? Why didn't you take steps to go and vote yourself to get these people out of office? Jim Valley served this district well. He always went to bat for the folks in this district, and I don't think it's appropriate for you to take shots at Beacon Hill and folks like Jim who have worked hard over these years. What's important for our communities is that we spend in the proper areas. I understand the issues. I've worked in local government. I know how important local aid is to the communities. I know how to